we streaming? Oh, looks like we are streaming. Cool. And I'm not going to do a sound check. No sound. Sorry. Tough luck. Get to send a message, but we don't get that many people viewing, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not going to go through that conversation again. Welcome back. It is... oh, what day is it? Thursday, the 6th of June, apparently. Here in the UK it is 10 o'clock, 10:09 in the morning. Another day off. And so, another stream. I'm home alone, so to speak, at least for the next 5 hours. I have coffee, music, and what I'd like to go over the next 5 hours. I have to eat lunch at some point and do a few other bits and bobs, but where were we yesterday? I was expecting to live stream yesterday evening. I did some in the morning and afternoon, but I didn't really return to it. Went out for dinner with the children, fed them, and then got back, and honestly, I just put Netflix on. I mean, that's terrible, isn't it? But I'm on kind of a break. Having a few days off on my own to recharge. So coding is very relaxed. I'm not pushing myself. I'm not really worried even about the quality of it, really. Having said that, we're going to do a bit of refactoring today, so I am naturally worried about the quality of it. Refactoring gives you a nice dopamine hit as your code gets cleaner, so hey, let's enjoy that. We're writing a little game, which I think is still runnable. Yep. You've got let's get that down to 32. You're a green square and you've got to dodge the red squares. I've written this game a couple of times. It's not exactly difficult. I'm using it as a leading project to get myself back into Rust. I've used Rust a couple of times, but I never sort of learnt it properly. So this is kind of my next attempt at learning it properly. Apologise for the coughing, it is not great. Okay, so the plan is we're going to move some of these axes aligned directs over into the other window with the linear alg. That's generic enough that we want to reuse it, so let's put it in its own file. When I do a second project, I'm not going to start by creating a separate library. I'll probably just copy over my reusable bits and go from there. But we're nowhere near there, and I usually get distracted and totally fail or something like that. Okay, so that's all we have to do, isn't it? And let's put that there. No, we do want to take that with us, because that is needed over there. I'm not really sure what that does yet. I'm sure it does something. Well, I know what it does, it just... yeah, it didn't really let me see it. I like Emacs, but as you saw yesterday, I was struggling quite a lot to get it to do anything. No, not. It was getting into some random states, which I don't know if it was my fingers pressing wrong or whatever. We may end up going to VS Code. I shall resist as long as I can. We'll probably need to put some pubs there. Yes. So insert pub there. Right, and then we need to go back to here and give me that. Where do our use? So I think if I do that, that should hopefully be enough. Yep, it is. So if you remember, a rect is that axis aligned rect. Of which we just have a little bit of, we have an overlap, that's all we're really interested in. Yeah. That is that. Check that works. Wow, 5 seconds. How many lines of code are we at? What's our UC log? 312 lines plus. I'm going to Google. I'm going to make a note. Find a better C-lock program. I'm sure someone's rewritten it in Rust, or I'm not really that worried about what language, but everyone rewrites everything in Rust. So what do I dislike about C-lock? First of all, I just apt installed this, and I'm getting this weird thing. Pass through in regex marked here. Well, what's going on there? Maybe fatal in Perl 5.32. So I wonder what version of Perl I've got. Perl 5, 5.28. Oh, awesome. I never really programmed in Perl. Then I look at this. It's managing 365 lines a second. Now I'm pretty sure Perl can do better than that. And, not even programmed in it, but my understanding is it calls out to an awful lot of C functions. So, well, unless it's something going on my hard drive, I've got an SSD drive. Admittedly, it's a traditional SATA one rather than the M2s which sit on the PCI Express bus. And the time it took was a second. Seems like a lot of time for pulling in what is what do we got? We got 8K, 9K, let's call it 10K. So it took a second to process 10K of files. That doesn't seem great to me, really. It might be a nice little project to write a little line code counting thing. Might be a nice project for Rust or Zig or something else, who knows, but we should see. There we go. Anyway, enough of that. Where were we? Quit out of that. Oh, I keep doing that. No. Here we go. Cool. Yep. to rename that game. Yeah, let's rename that. I wonder if Rust LSP dash rename. Trying out the this is going to so go wrong. Rename failed, not enough information. Entity. 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 That's probably needs to actually be. Oh, we might do that, but that might need to be in. It's not constructed. This is the sort of code we will not be using ever. But as we are in a bit of a True. Well, that's not. Appear to not be listening to what I expected to be listening to. Okay, so now we've got some random hello squares over there. Appear to be working. Ooh. So now, starting to make a bit more sense. We've got an entity. We've got a render entity. I think we will change that to render entity. Oops. It's running. Yep, it's working. Right. I don't really pick it up. I've got a mechanical keyboard, and but I don't have a mechanical keyboard at work because there'd be complaints. In fact, we banned them at work, so it means I spend most of my time on a different keyboard. And there's a slight adjustment, and I mistype keys. But after a couple of days at home, I then go back to my one at work, and it's the same. So, and Right, I think that is all our refactoring. I am becoming more confident with Magit, the Git Emacs plugin that people tend to rave about, although I really only just do the basics, stage, commit, push. But yeah, it seems to be working well. Last stream we did get it into a bit of an odd state, but never mind. Like we see, LSP doesn't, language server thing doesn't really. Ooh, interesting. No action to select from. Anyway. Where are we going now? What are we doing? Right, next thing is we want to create a screen system, state system for the very highest level. So we're going to need a trait. You can type trait screen, and I cannot remember how to create traits, so we'll leave it empty for now. And we're going to need a struct called screen manager. No, we need screen right as well. Manager. So on one hand, it's very simple for me just to, this is a natural place for virtual stuff. So you've got the option that I have a vector that stores mutable references to the screens, and then we would end up with something like, I'm not, you know, screen 1 new. What is it? And here we rely on the natural, oh, they're going to be mutes, aren't they? Here we rely on the natural scoping. These will fall out of scope after that one does, so the manager like that. That means the screen manager doesn't take ownership. The alternative is we do something like box. Whoa. If you could remember how to use Vim and take your eyes off it. Box new And then we would have to do it for the others as well. At this point, we would need a well, the other one would require a, oh no, we need it to be a rec. Can you see this? I just realised I didn't increase my font size. There you go. So one requires a box and takes ownership, and the other one would, presumably I can do this, do a mutual reference to it. I'm inclined to go with the box. It means no matter what we do, we've got so memory allocation here doesn't matter because we're only going to allocate 10 of them. We're going to do it before the main loop. Honestly, I could allocate them every single loop, but it's not going to make a big deal in this game, but some of these things you want to get right. Inside let's go with that and to see whether, I mean, we can do special constructors, you can pass in the functions and so let's do int screen manager. Might be a better way to do that. Well, that gives us make sure I've not forgotten anything. Not used, not used, screen is never used, okay. And then we would have struct screen 1. Let's go for it. Title screen. Yes, I've got that set up. Data goes here. Then we do title screen. I'll bounce on the screen a bit because, you know, that's it. I think I'm hitting control and I should be hitting shift. Put a new there, and then we do imp. Screen for title screen. Now hopefully that's all we need to do is a complaints. Then we have to do screen manager. Screen. I'm assuming box is the right one to use. Let's put my types in, but and we don't want to return anything. We're going to assume it never fails. Self dot screens dot not pen, that takes a vector push. Yes, it does. Screens with S. Explore. Okay, how are we doing here? Yeah, not used. Loads of warnings. Right. mgr. Oh, come on, Vim. mgr dot. Now, consistency. I chose append where I should have chosen push because title screen. No, didn't finish my sentence. That's the problem with me. I chose append, whereas I should have chose push, so it's consistent with a vector, because then it's less surprising to other users. So we push a title screen. Something's not happy because we have not done a box on it. Box new. I wonder if I can just. I don't know how to use box, so I'm guessing. Found struct. Did you mean this? Not really, no. Right, let's Google that. Because I can't remember how to use box. I'm not even sure I'm using the right one. Rust. Box. Here it goes. Something exciting. Maybe. Box heap example. That's probably more what I want. Okay, so we don't need to do this my. Box new. Title screen. Can I do that? Does that even work? Maybe. Where the hell's that? 167. Oh God. Cannot borrow as mutable. No, of course you can't, because cool. I think we have it. Box value can be different to the star, removes. We're just doing a quick check. All values must attack allocated box support are heat allocated, so yet box gives us the heat allocation. Seems to let us call the constructor, so presumably, and this is for my benefit, not your guys, at this point, box new. Did I drag stuff around? Did I just. Okay, so maybe then places X into it, so yes. The new constructs something by value and returns it. Mental model, probably optimized out. Box does an allocation, which will allocate 1 byte presumably, because we haven't got any data in there. Allocate the size of title screen somewhere on the heap. Title screen on the stack, so let's go to where it is here. On the stack creates it and returns it back out, and then there's a copy going on between here, somewhere in here, that moves it onto move. If it's moving there, move by default, moves it from the stack to the heap place where we allocate the heap. Presumably this will be inlined and it will actually do the allocation and then send a pointer in where the allocation is and avoid the copy stroke move and just construct in place. Otherwise something weird would be happening. So happy I have got at least a working mental model. Box presumably deletes itself. functions can be boxed. Yeah. Is a smart pointer heat allocated. When the box goes out of scope, it is instructed, which is what I want. So effectively, box is unique pointer in C++. Cool. Right. Now I have to decide on the modelling I want. So here's what I'm wondering, thinking about. Right, we need to know current screen. Because you can push things on, you can't take a reference towards a reference, so you might want to do it as an int32. But what happens if we haven't set a current screen? That's illogical, so you might want to do it as an optional int. It can't be locked, signed, so but then using that we put another ball there, and it's not really, most of the time we're not actually going to I don't see the point of having an optional there, which is going to, in this case, because I think Rust added non-zero numbers, which would be useful for us here. Could take a raw pointer if I could figure out how to do that in Rust, because they are allocated. It's sort of going to a shared pointer though, isn't it? I don't really want that. Let's make this U32. Screen 0. Our core game loop is going to be, and but for now we want to, so in here we're going to call, actually I'm thinking about checking, but indexing is always checked on a vector, so that will actually reduce my code. So if there's nothing added, then it will panic, and I'm good with that panicking because that's exactly the type of checking I want, but it keeps my code clean. So we need a reference to probably immutable self. So we can just do self dot screens self dot and screen. Can I do an arrow? Update. I do the update and draw differently because we might want to update more often with a fixed frame rate, and the draw might only happen once every 60 frames, and we might, or 30 even, depending on our lockstep, but we might want to update at a faster rate. Or alternatively, we might want to draw at 144 Hz, but only keep our tick rate at 60, but the draw would then do some interpolation to make it worth doing. I.e., they're out of step. So what have we got here? Well, we've got two things. Importantly, I said draw and update can do. Self So draw why you would expect it to be. Now I need to look at how the hell to do traits, because I ain't very happy with me. Whoa, it's telling me a lot of stuff. Expected. One, 5, 3. Right, let's work on one at a time. So let's work on draw. I've got no idea how to do traits. Normal parameters are removed. I should go read them. Set. That is a little bit better. So this one, title screen. Now, I just did something. Oh, I found that. To do. Now, what are we complaining about? Guess they. Let's go to you. Guess it auto dereferences. I think it does. Slicing indices. Oh, God. Slice. That's a checked version. Now let's see what it's complaining about. No, I don't want to slice. Because it wants a U size. Okay, I think that's what I'm getting at. No, that would be unexpected. I feel like I'm no, there you go. So let's go to that. Let's change U to U size so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, I reckon. I should try running Clippy. I wonder if Clippy's even installed. That'd be a nice thing to do. Delete to boom. Right, so we now got, when we do an update, we do that, and we do a draw. That we're going to be in sync, I'm afraid. Not frame rate independent yet. Here we go, draw, and yes, but because we don't have a drawing. ngr.update. Okay, somewhere else, but updating drawing. Ah, we need to get rid of that, probably never get here stuff. Whee. What the hell happened then? Where would it appear? Cool. And all is good. Okay. Right, so we've got a little manager in. And I think I'm going to make another coffee. And then we shall move. We've got a few more things to add. But we'll get to that. We need some sort of screen message system so we could change screens and we could exit the game. We're not abstracting away the event system yet, so we will just dump that into the update. But we should go from there. We should refactor into that. But first, a coffee. So. Oh, goodness me. Can't talk. Oh, can I remember how to do that? It's control L. Yeah. Here we go. Right. I shall be back in a few minutes. check the stream is actually working. Yep, wow, 48 minutes uptime. Cool. Okay. Random. I'm sorry, I'm congested. I feel like it's when I first tried stream back in February. And the only way I could convince myself to start doing it was when I was in a I don't care mode. And funny enough, I get into that when I'm recovering from a cold. The first 2 weeks of it, which really that shows how long it took for the cold to recover, was me coughing, and which isn't great. Coffee is back. Well, this might be my last one of the day because I want to train tonight. I think about random things I could say as I come back. The reason I'm using Emacs, number of reasons. I wanted a consistent interface, text editor. Interface for entering code, which is what a text editor is, across all platforms. In that sense, it means my laptop and here. I was using, but I also wanted it easy to keep them in sync. Visual Studio Code, I've never really got that good at keeping them in sync. I know you can install packages on the command line, so maybe I just need a script, but the key bindings and things like that, I always feel like, you know, I'm not quite sure where they live or whether or not I can put them under version control, whereas my Emacs file is under version control. And admittedly I do copy it into the .emacs thing. I haven't sim linked, which I probably should. Which means, where was it? No, I've lost my train of thought now. I was using IntelliJ C-Line, which does have a Rust plugin. I had a few problems with that plugin, but overall I really like IntelliJ, and surprisingly it's one of the editors you need to customise a hell of a lot less. It's got a reasonably good Vim mode, which makes it really good for using on a laptop, which I have found myself coding on quite a bit recently. And the other thing I've been doing is I've been doing a little bit of reading and note taking, and Emacs is pretty good at that. The org mode really it's a thing that always pulls me back to Emacs. And again, Emacs is incredibly lightweight. It sips battery power on my laptop as opposed to C-Line, which, well, configure it right, it's not too bad. It sips it, I guess, but not as much. I'm just trying to look up the process of Emacs. How much memory is it using? God, here it is. It's currently using 149 megabytes, and we have the language servers included in that, I would imagine. When you boot it up from cold without any plugins, it's about 8. C-Line is a gig, which, because of Java, probably allocates, that's fair enough. And the same with VS Code, which takes 500 cold. No, by cold I mean no plugins. I'm looking over there, I should look at the camera. So, I've tried to settle on Emacs for a while. An interesting thing to note is the code commission isn't great, even though it's using the language server. I think there's some stuff still to sort out. So if you do self dot ask for completions, no chance. Using the same Emacs setup on Windows, it works. It's bizarre, and I haven't got to the bottom of that. I'm obviously happy for it to coast. I don't want to spend all my time in Emacs, configuring Emacs, which is maybe the thing that drives me to VS Code. But anyway, enough ranting. Let's get on with what we were doing. Title screen. well, we're not going to do anything with title screen at the moment. What we're going to do is implement a new one called struct in-game screen. And you're not going to have anything there just yet. Imp in-game screen. Ooh. That's a mental block then. And there's that done. Okay, so straight away when we do this, that will probably work. He says, yeah, we've got a problem. We want to start on this one. So what we want to do is mgr.change screen in game, but let's have it in game. I know text isn't the greatest. Maybe I could do it with an ID, but then I'd have to. Text is fine here, but we don't have a change screen, do we? No. Let's go up here and change screen. Ooh, now we want to do a in here. We're going to do CR index CR in self.screens. We don't have an index iterator. I was hoping for, in strings you can do an index, get a char and an index of the char. It seems like we don't have that. Now we could do an enumerate. Now what's it doing? You see, this is what gets on my nerves. Where are we now? Right. Does that work? Oh, I have no idea what to call that. Call it over now. I want to know the type of O. Yeah, that's awesome, but unusual overlay, okay. O dot. What if you could do that? Ah, that's what we wanted. IDX, CR. And yeah, I know. Then we want if scr dot name self.current screen IDX. We'll go for a return here. I do not know what a debug assert is. I could go for a panic. I could just go for a warning, printing a warning. Rust debug assert. There you go, debug assert. This will invoke the panic if the provided expression cannot be evaluated to true at runtime. Can I there we go. I would say at the moment anyway, debug assert false. Changing screen name not found. Now we should complain that he doesn't know anything about a name. Now here we go, strings, we've got to do a static str. Final count I was playing on my random rock list. Expected type found that. What does it do? Static. I'm trying to guess this rather than. The reason I'm trying to guess it is it will stay up. Lifetime argument not allowed. That's stupid. Okay. I've got to I can do it in a second. You know what? No, if we keep it like that, that's probably consistent. See, this just confuses the hell out of me. Oh. Did that work? Oh, I don't know. No matter names. Okay, so we need to put an understand. So for now, we're saying that you've got to return a string that is static, so that lasts the whole lifetime. I would say that's reasonable because you're just going to do that. Come on, 4 0.6 seconds that time. Panic. Changing screen. Name not found. What did I try and change it to? Yes, good. Proves that code path worked. Awesome. Things are chugging. Okay. What was pressing Q on then? Who knows? Right, where are we going to go with this now? Well, we've got to start moving some state into there. We don't want to move any of that. Oh, we've got to use some of this. Oh, crap. Slow and gradual. That's my plan. Why would you be up there? In game. That is. Back. To T. Right, so now what I'm looking to do is take squares out. We need to encapsulate some other bits. So what I'm trying to do is move some of the data into the in-game class as a gradual refactor over. The problem is we do not have the renderer in there. So what I want to do is try and keep the renderer out. Oh, this is going to be interesting because self.baddies, this is my favourite word ever. That should work. No, that shouldn't work. Okay, that's because I've taken squares out for a second. So let's put squares back in. We need its own random. Okay, I'm not really sure about that. In my head I'm starting to see where are we? Okay, so in theory we've got this working. Not sure if this is going to work, but and then we do let mute. We definitely don't want to keep this around. Terrible. But unknown field. Have we got you hidden? Oh, of course. Idiot. Reaching out ago. Help local variables this. What happened there? Oh, fucking hell. Okay, so it's virtualized, so it's only got what's on the trait, so you can't do that. This is a terrible way of doing it. Don't like that at all. I think we have to figure out what we are doing. Right, so I'm trying to force a state system on there, but we've got a couple of problems. One is we don't have the this is interesting. don't have the rendering encapsulated, so I can't force it all into there unless we've got the rendering in the screen manager, or at least access to it. So we need a sort of engine structure which we can share. Which, actually, this is turning out to be quite interesting. I don't know what the types of things are, you know, is that a... Right. I'm going to put these at the top of the file because I'm not that interested in those at the moment. What I'm interested in is the renderer. But I'm not actually that interested in the renderer either. Maybe we should take that out and put that into a different file. No, because I want to put some stuff into the renderer that so we need to move this weird frame into my renderer. Do we agree with that? Yes, we do. But we don't want you as a usual reference. We're going to want you as itself. That would imply that the frame was stable, which I don't think it is. I think it's getting it each time, so the target is obviously flipping in a double buffered situation, so we need a begin and end. So it's display that we need stored in my renderer. Where does that live? Okay. So that's cool. So we're moving that, so now we need to move that to display. I've got no idea how expensive the target equals self dot frame dot so we've got state. Selected. I know. We've got display. Fn begin. So if I could type begin, and you're going to make a mutable self dot display equals target equals self dot display dot draw and end. Don't want that, but we do want, damn it. Now, what do we want target to be? What is target? We have some. Target is a frame. Well, a frame is lightweight. I'm hoping it's just a wrapper for something. Context, resource candidate, destroyed. Yeah. We do die. Good. Where am I going with this? I'm trying to make renderer a self-contained thing that we can send into the states so that we can store the renderer inside an engine, which will also store the state manager, and all will be wonderful. But we won't have to create an engine struct first. We'd do that all within the main, and we'll see all the code disappear from main, and we end up with a renderer creation and a states the screen creation, and then we just have a loop where we update with a draw and, well, actually just called update, which will in turn call update on the screen and draw on the screen. Okay, so what you couldn't see was I was just looking up frame, and we can see it's got a context, but it's a resource ref counted, and it's got some dimensions, and it's got whether or not it's a ball. So you must call finish or set finish, else the destructor will panic. That's cool, because that's what we plan to do. Maybe we could return an object, and we could use our AII for some of this stuff, but for now, well, what I want to do is make target an optional. Do I? Yes, I do, because we don't want to initialize it until begin, and then we want to get rid of it when it's end. So we want an, where did you go, renderer? I think I do anyway. Frame optional GLRUM frame, and then we can just do frame none. Now we should get some complaints because what are you complaining about here? Field target. Oh, of course, because I want to call it a frame rather than a target. Yeah, some unwrapping going on. Okay, so because I'm knocking out an enum with a similar name exists option. I'm running on screens renderer option. Now I should hopefully get some interesting, that error message. We have to bring make shader in. So insert now I'm not sure that's enough, because I think I may need to unwrap because it's an error type. Where am I looking? I love type systems because they let me do this refactoring. Now no. Okay, back to Google. I want to unwrap or panic, so Rust option unwrap maybe, option unwrap by example, match. In the last example, wait, let's go back to the last example. We can include a program failure at will. We told a program to panic if the princess, or princess, sounds awesome. Error handling. Give princess, panic, give snake. Okay, that doesn't help. Map, no. So currently we're looking for the function disarm, unwrap, or I think I just want to unwrap, don't I? Because at that point it will panic. I'm currently Googling. Yes, I would say that is a reasonable thing to do. Frame, for now anyway. Have a reference to it. And you're going to need to be mutable. It's not surprising that all this is turning out to be mutable. Because we're hiding the fact that right now, finally, I reckon we need to go down here and our little make program, which needs a display, which we have moved. In fact, it doesn't want a full display. What's it doing? Reference. Make shader. Let shader make shader. Display. And then now I should have a lot of errors still to go. Now where are we? Vertex. Oh hell. What did it want? Yeah, what was the other one? That's funny. God. Okay, so if we do should be able to do a diff. Is that how we're going to do this? Diff unstaged. And then we've got all this here. Display. I could have guessed that, but while I'm trying to develop my mental model of what's going on rather than when things go wrong, I've got a better idea of what's going on. Target not found in this scope. Holy moly. 185 go. More errors. 9357, let's fix that one first. Yeah, well, you're going to need that to be mutable now. You might go to some of the others. Self.frame 161. Right, cannot borrow, cannot be moved out of. Yeah, that's fine, I don't want it moved out. So if I do that, that looks awful. And it's certainly not. We're not leaving it like that. What's the next one? 18. Cannot move out of borrowed. 161 go. We got some borrowed problems. Awesome. Cannot move out of borrowed context. Cannot move out of borrowed context. Consider changing this to a mutable reference. Yes. Let's fix that one first. Cannot be allowed to borrow out of the mutable context. Three, 5, 4. Are the numbers dropping? Yep. Renderer begin. We need to bracket these renders now. Renderer end. I'm actually going to change that to finish. reference mute. GLIUM frame, back to a target thing, return. Okay, we can get that return in a second, but I don't think that's going to work because, yeah, you're taking a reference to a let's see what it complains about. Ooh, what is going on there? $360. 359. Okay. I'll be surprised if we don't get a gazillion terms of reference to a data owned by the. Oh, yeah, I don't mind that. Let's throw a macro would. Can't move by. Okay, I'm using optionals wrong. That's clearly what I'm doing wrong. So let's have a little looky. Which is kind of the point, isn't it? That I keep calling it optionals as well. Unwrap takes the. Well, let's have a look what unwrap actually does. Well, first of all, this is easy to solve. No, let's not solve it like that. If let some reference, come on, reference frame equals self dot frame you've got to be immutable, not immutable, you've got to be mutable. You know what I did, yeah. You mean mute. So what I want to do is get a mutable reference to something stored in an optional. Rust mutable reference for something stored in an option type. And I'm going to translate it, stop saying option. Oh, it's awesome. I just... I've already got a mutable, so what I'm looking for is oh dear me. So I don't want to box it. That'd be crazy to box the pointer. I'm not finding much here. Unless I do mute. And messing around now. I don't expect that to build. Expect distilled option found mute ref. Yeah, I know, but I want a mute reference to... Am I just overthinking this? No method get target for type mute renderer. I'm just being dumb. Hopefully. Very much being dumb, aren't I? Reread your code and you wouldn't have these problems. So... Did you mean... I sort of did, but... How do I get a reference of you? Why am I putting you in a sum? Because you can't have null pointers. God, the temptation is strong. That's not going to work because that's not the type I've got. Maybe I just need to not. Okay. Obviously I could just do this like that. So what I want to do is fi frame equals self dot frame dot as mute dot unwrap, because that's going to return a result. Okay, so that is awesome. Okay, this all assumes that you're getting it right. But no. Cannot move out of all context, but the other one can. So only left with you. Why can't you? Why are you moving? Can't move out of borrowed context. But I want you to be a reference. So we'd expect you to be a mutable reference to a GLIUM frame. What are you? Target.finish.unwrap, render.finish is that here. So target is there. So how is that different? Cannot spot the difference. That should crash if I don't call finish, shouldn't it? If I just cheekily comment that out. My fingers can't hit this backslash key. There you go. Now I would expect that to crash on the first frame, because we're not calling finish. the frame object must be destroyed by calling finish. So in this case, it's not able to move it out, so we need to get it out. That's fine. So what we need to do is self.frame. It's the opposite of what we wanted to do. Unwrap.finish. Now that, do I need that? That's the question. Move these arguments. How do I move a value out of an option? Create optional, no. Rust option move value out. How do I move a struct field that is an option? Here's some crazy stuff. Take. Of course. Takes the value out, leaving none in its place. So in theory, what does it do though? Dot unwrap. I know unwraps are terrible. Got you. Oh, interesting. Unused in the result value. Ah. Oh, well, let's just make it one line of okay, so longer term I don't really want these unwraps because I need to handle the errors. My misunderstanding on both accounts was right, start again. My misunderstanding was how to get a mutable reference. I needed to call as mute, obviously, and then unwrap the result. And then the final thing was I needed to move the value out of the optional to destruct it, because, you know, and at that point I needed to call finish on it. Okay, cool. It is now 10 past 12. I'm going to call that an end of the stream. So, stage, commit, refactor, renderer. And I shall probably do another hour this afternoon, assuming I don't get distracted doing other stuff. And probably no stream this evening. Okay, thank you very much, and I shall see you again. Right, thank you.